So when Drew was in utero, I had some testing done that came back with some not so great results that you just never expect, and the doctor just threw it on me that there was a high likelihood that he would be stillborn. Throughout the whole pregnancy was fine, but of course anxiety ridden. I think I went from that appointment with maternal fetal medicine straight to Pastor Carrie and Alan's house, and we prayed immediately. So from the very beginning, there was just a lot of anxiety surrounding his birth. And when he was born, we had about 2 weeks where I thought, well, he was my second child, and I thought, wow, why did we think this was so hard? Like, he just sleeps, and he's so, like, peaceful, and this is no big deal. And I never should have said those words out loud. He ended up having colic quite severely and would scream from about 2 weeks old until 8 or 9 weeks. I think it was 10 weeks old, non-stop. If you're familiar with colic, which I don't wish on my worst enemy, he would eat and then scream until he fell asleep very briefly and then woke up and it was time to eat again. And that cycle would go. And so I have distinct memories of all afternoon holding him. He had to be held. If you let him down, I mean, the scream was worse if you let him down. There's nothing more defeating than not being able to comfort your child, like especially when they're infants, because really your purpose there is to let them know they can trust you, you can comfort them. Like, that's your sole purpose, is to feed them and comfort them. And if you can't do either of those, it's pretty devastating. And I'm also a psychologist, so being a psychologist and a mom is, I feel like, even worse, because you know how these things can affect a kid, and you know what you should be able to do if you're doing it right. And it felt like there was nothing I could do. But then we started with big emotions. He would lose it over, I don't even know what. We didn't know what. I mean, this was like probably right after he was about 1 year old, and it went on until forever. But he would he could not manage his emotions, even beyond what a 2, 3, 4 year old, you expect them to be able to do. He didn't trust me or Kyle. I mean, he didn't trust anyone to keep him safe. And I remember saying to Kyle, like, he doesn't trust me. He doesn't think that'll keep him safe. And of course, in my psychologist mind, I'm like, this goes back to me not being able to comfort him. Like, he never learned that you can trust your caregiver. And so along with all of this, we were still having eating difficulty. So he was, he wouldn't eat. I guess he was 3 or 4 years old, and people would, all the advice you get, they won't starve themselves, they will eat it. He would starve himself. There was a point in time we took him to the doctor because he hadn't eaten in 2 to 3 days. There was nothing we could do. Anything you're thinking, oh, she should try this or that in your head right now, it will not work. And the doctors, I think, thought I was just a brat. And I started to feel that way. That, we had been praying, I mean, like, crying out at times. I would drive to the Acme parking lot and just cry and pray. Like, I don't know what else to do for him. So there was a moment in church, and I love the way God did this, because I think he did it exactly how he needed to for me to recognize what it was. I was in church praying for Drew, and I started to feel like something was weird. I can't describe it any more than that, just like something's happening, something's weird. And the memory that I have of it is that the music sort of got just muffled. It was inconsequential. It was like not really there anymore. And the thought, very clear words came into my head: you're a good mom. And I immediately busted out crying. And I knew God had never like audibly spoken to me before. And it wasn't audible, but it was very clear thought. Those words are very clear thoughts in my head. And I knew it was from him. I knew it was from God, because that was not what I was thinking. I mean, I would never have just randomly told myself that in the middle. And with all of the, like, interestingly enough, like, sensory shift in the room that I felt, and then that thought, I just knew. And I knew that was I had been praying, like, do I take him to this doctor? Do we do medication? I don't know. Like, what am I even doing? Like, I am worthless to Drew, is how I felt. I'm a worthless. He might as well not even have a mom. He might as well not even have a parent. That's how I felt. Like, He's got to feel totally on his own, and I'm pointless. What's the point of me? So when I heard that, if God tells me I'm a good mom, that's pretty much all that matters, right? Like I there's nothing more that I could ask for than that, and knowing that I'm doing the best that I can, and God says that's good, you know. So, and it also just reminds me that God has got Drew, He's got my kids, and He's got me. Like, had I not had that experience and response to my prayer, I don't know where I'd be right now.